What's up, guys? Yeah, we had to do a little earlier today because I got earlier games, if that makes sense. Like I got two like opening round of the playoffs or the state tournament, and first game is at 4 o'clock. So if I and we're gonna be in the cage at like 2:15 or 2:30. So I just had to start earlier so I can do it still full time or like how long our usual kind of shows are. So we are early today, Buck. 2 hours till first pitch. Let's go. Duke for Miami. Miami's 2 hours till first pitch. Morning, Zach. What's up? You in Boston, Canes? Enjoying the weather? Oh, yeah. I forgot Miami's playing in Boston. But are they really playing in Sorry, I have to send this real quick. All right. All right, we're back. Yeah, I moved up I just landed in Boston, just grabbed my rental car. Gulf Coast won the Panhandle Conference yesterday, first time since 2010. Nice. Yeah, moved up from 4 p.m. to 2 p.m., heading to the ballpark now. Dude, 2 hours then. What do you mean 2 hours? That's in an hour and a half. They're going to be done with BP soon. Mizzou almost pulled it out last night, but let the 9-hitter drop an eighth inning bomb. Oh, is that how it played out? Zach, you called it, man, and I was kind of in agreement with you. Unfortunately, you stole my thunder before I was going to say it, but NC State dominated Clemson last night, just straight up domination. And again, it's like it's pretty obvious how you. I mean, it's not obvious, and it's definitely not easy. But how you beat Clemson is you just put up a lot of runs, right? If you can put up like 10, and not even 10, but like 8+ runs, like you probably have a really good chance of beating them. And that sounds stupid to say because that's true of most teams. But like they just don't seem, their offense is just not great. Like their offense is, again, I mean, you have guys like Cam Cannarella, who's, I think he's a really good player. I think he's very good defensively. But man, I would be, if I'm a scout watching Cam Cannarella, I'm worried about the offensive profile. I mean, you're a guy with elite speed and you're hitting like barely 300. That's not a good, like a guy with elite speed, like myself in the college game is going to hit for a really high average. Because like I've told you guys, the defenses are not as good. Like a ground ball in the 6-hole or a ground ball up the middle, you're just not throwing. They don't have the tool set to throw guys that can really run out. Cannarella right now is hitting 305 with 12 doubles, 1 triple. How does he have 1 triple? Right? How you're a burner, you got 1 triple, 2 home runs. He's got 4 stolen bases in 7 attempts. I mean, he gets thrown out 50% of the time. The one thing you can say about Cannarella that's really good is his walk rate. He's got 40 walks in 42 games. I mean, his walk rate is over 20%. His walk rate's ridiculous. His strikeout rate is, again, for a guy who's not hitting a lot of power, he's got 33 strikeouts in 191 plate appearances. So, roughly it's a little bit over 15%. Yeah, but Buck, it doesn't matter, man. I hit, I'm second all time in triples in Georgia Tech history. And right center at Georgia Tech is like 350. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't hit triples to left center. I didn't hit triples to left field. I hit them down the right field line and right center. Word on Canarella is that his injuries last year were more serious and he's not fully recovered. But he had all summer and fall, right? What kind of injuries can last that long? He can really play center field. I totally agree. But you don't draft a guy in the first round because he can really play center field. You draft him because he's got a really good bat and he can really play center field. For me, I don't know if I draft him in the first round if I'm a team right now. I don't know how you draft a guy that doesn't have power and is hitting 305 in this era of college baseball. I mean, he had a bad shoulder injury. I mean, how bad could it be? I mean, my younger brother tore his rotator cuff and his labrum at the same time, and he was back playing in an off season, right? He was back in an off season. Kyle, so in football, you have no chance of winning without a good offensive line and defensive line. In baseball, what would you say a team has no chance of winning without? I think, it's different, right? It's different because in base, what you mean is like have success consistently over a season and multiple years. To me, I would say number one is like pitching and defense. Like, look at Clemson. Clemson's 36-8. Their team batting average is 276. Their team slugging, their team OPS is what, 562? Or sorry, 562. 862. Their team OPS is 862. So Clemson's offense is by no means elite. By no means. They've scored 323 runs in 44 games. So they're basically scoring, like 7.5 runs per game. Less than 7.5 runs per game. But they have good pitching. They have a really good bullpen. And defensively, they've made 39 errors in 44 games. So they're making less than 1 error per game. So you can win even without a great offense. Like, Clemson's got 2 guys hitting over 300, and they're hitting 308 and 305. Now the rest of them are they're all but in between 257 and 295. So like the rest of them are not like terrible, but there's not one plus bat in this lineup. Torn labrum in right shoulder. I did that myself. Takes a year plus to recover. This is my thing, Buck. I understand like full recovery as far as maybe throwing. But him not being like it's not affecting him running. It's not affecting him hitting. Like a lot of guys tear their labrums and they just DH. Like if there's a month or two left, they'll just DH the rest of the way. So if you want to tell me like, well, his arm strength's a little bit lower, because I don't know what shoulder it was. I don't know is it his right shoulder or that's his throwing arm. But it's not affecting him offensively. So I would be scared to draft him in the first round because it's not first round performance. And it's one thing if you're Jace Lavalette and you're going to end up with 20 plus home runs and you're hitting 305. You lose a lot of your strength. Yeah, but I mean, Buck, and like what I'm trying to tell you is like your labrum's role in your shoulder and how it impacts your swing is like virtually not at all. I mean, your swing is all lower half, core, then arms and hands. So like, I mean, if you're clean, I promise I played with a lot of dudes that had messed up shoulders and they were fine hitting. But I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm not saying he's, I'm not saying he's like, maybe he's not 100%, but like if he's 90%, these numbers are not good. Outside of his walk rate is, and again, that's something that could boost boost it for guys is that, you know what, maybe his bat's having a little bit of a down year, but he's really walking at a high level. But like, can't like to me again, Jace Lavalette hits 305 with 20 plus homers. Like at least you kind of know, you know, he's probably not going to hit for like a high average in the big leagues if he gets there, but he'll hit home runs. If you can't hit 305 as a non-power guy. And what's disappointing to me is like, you know what, like Canarella, if he turns 4 of those doubles into triples, his slugging percentage is way higher. But you know, it's so I mean he's hurting himself as well. I mean his slugging percentage is lower than his on base percentage. Now his on base percentage is like incredibly elite for where his batting average is. But that would worry me. That would worry me if I'm looking at him in the draft. But I think you're right in general, Buck. Like I think there's, you know, in this year's draft, there's not like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like there's like those as many as usual of like kind of a few college bats where you're like, you can't miss on that. Like Lavalette, I got a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of things to be worried about with him. Again, like the low batting average. Because guys just need to understand like what you do in college baseball in this era with how the ball flies. Like when you get to minor leagues, your numbers will be down. You're not going to hit the same. You're generally speaking, some guys hit better, but most guys hit worse. Big win for Oklahoma. Yeah, and Georgia, you know, it's interesting. Like Georgia and Georgia Tech right now are now Georgia Tech's in a way better position than Georgia as far as SEC conference or ACC conference record. Georgia's now like they're one game above 500. And they've really hit a dry spell. And again, they're still in really good position for like, you know, making the tournament and stuff. But, you know, if all of a sudden they don't pick it back up, they may end up not being a host. It was Lavalette, but I think he's now late first round. Killian from Tennessee is the only other one. Yeah, I agree. I think Lavalette, I mean, the people, and again, this just goes to, you know, how ridiculous and just how kind of just people that don't understand the game. When Lavalette was projected to be like the first overall pick, I mean, just looking at his numbers last year, you're like, yeah, the home run record the home run numbers are great. But like you hit 305 in college. You know, I mean, it's like that's not an elite bat. That's elite power, but that's not an elite bat. And those are two different things. Now, in today's game, most people don't, they probably think that's the same thing. You know, but it's not. Like an elite bat is someone is, you know, if Lavalette hits 340 with 29 home runs, that's a whole different ball game. Like, dude, elite bat, put it on him. But 305, I mean, it's just not the same. And it's a question. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean he won't end up being one, right? That possibility is in there. But that's a red flag. That's a red flag. And so when you're making draft decisions, something my dad did all the time, I'm gonna have to get him back on the show maybe next week and just talk through a bunch of stuff. Especially, you know, we may do an MLB draft special with my dad on there. I'll make him do his homework as well. But you're looking for someone where there's no red flags, and even sometimes when there's no red flags, they still are going to be a bust. I mean, look at Spencer Torkelson. People thought he was going to be the best bat to come out of college in a long time, and he's doing better this year, but he hasn't done anything. He hasn't looked like a first overall pick. I think anyone would agree with that. And that's okay. That happens in the draft. You know, I mean, that's how difficult. That's why guys, like, there is nothing more difficult than choosing the right hitter to draft. Because even the guys with the best, like, You talk about mechanics. You talk about he walks twice as much as he strikes out. He's hitting for power. You know, he was Spencer Torkelson. Spencer Torkelson was so elite. It was like he's a first baseman, right-handed hitter that's going first overall. You know, I mean that's what people were saying. Like that's how elite the bat is. I'm not slandering him. I'm just saying, has he been? You know, has he for being the first overall pick in 1,400 at bats in his career? He's a 99 OPS plus, 709 OPS. You know, Torkel Spencerson, yeah. But like, you know, right-handed hitting first baseman, first overall pick. Everyone thought you can't miss on this guy. He's that elite. Hasn't been. You know, Oklahoma's Ace Witherspoon is a dog. Saw him play in Northwest Florida. Yeah, he's good. That would be cool to have your dad on for the draft. That would be cool. He would do it. He'll do it too. Kyson Witherspoon is one of the best pitchers that no one is talking about. I think people aren't, but you're right. I mean it's because he's at Oklahoma, right? He's not at like the big SEC. Or, you know, Oklahoma is a big SEC school, but you guys know what I mean as far as in baseball terms. Oklahoma is a very well respected program, but as far as SEC goes, you got Tennessee, you got Mississippi State, you know, A&M, Texas. I mean, there's just again they're not one of the most highly talked about teams in the SEC, but they're playing really well. So that's the thing about the draft is like you can even the people you think are can't miss, right? Remember Dustin Ackley when he came out of UNC, he ended up having a decent career, played a long time in the big leagues, but like he wasn't what people thought he was going to be, like not even close. Barks, Buck, that'd be a great idea. Yeah, I mean, my dad always tells me, I just keep forgetting, but he's always like, "Hey, just let me know when you want me on again." He loves talking baseball and everything. So, and um, I mean, he'll go on a rant just as much as I will. When we when we when we're together as a family, you know, because my twin brother played at Georgia Tech with me. My younger brother played at Sanford and then went JUCO and then went Georgia Southern, got drafted, played pro ball for a few years. So I mean, when we're around each other as family, like all we do is talk about baseball, and like most of the time, all we talk about is how like brutal it is. My dad, when we were home for Easter, he was like, you know, I was talking about how we go over all these defensive clips that I see and some of you guys send me, and I was like, "Have you been seeing the stuff that's going on in the big leagues?" And he's like, he was just like, his face was like, you couldn't even believe it. It was just, he's like, dude, he's like, Kyle, I see clips every day, and I'm like, what has happened to Major League Baseball? You know what's crazy is I watched a video yesterday of Brandon Crawford, who just like unbelievably like good defensive shortstop, right? Won a lot of Gold Gloves, like good hitter, but he was known for his glove. And there's just not guys like that in the big leagues anymore. There's not guys like Brandon Crawford, and you watched him, and like, listen, he was one of the better defenders in the big leagues. I mean, he won Gold Gloves, but that was kind of like the bar for being a shortstop in the big leagues at that point. Like, you had to be around that good. Now you're watching guys play shortstop, and you're like, this guy's a big league shortstop, or this guy's a big league second baseman. See what they've done at the big league level is they've just basically said anyone can play any position. We're literally gonna fantasy baseball it and put like the best hitters in the lineup, and so be it that we're gonna make errors or we're gonna make misplays, um, and we're gonna lose games because of it. And like you go around, like, and the thing is, guys, like in 160 games, one loss could be the difference between you making the playoffs or not. Like I said in 2017, the Brewers missed the playoffs by a half game, and they were literally playing guys in the outfield who had never played outfield in their life, and they were just losing games because of that. I know he's been a disappointment, so is Casey Mize, but they're both having better seasons. Yeah, and hopefully maybe they figure it out, Zach, right? He's been a disappointment, but they could turn it around with adjustments. Kyle plus dad rant would be legendary. What's up, White House? Who's the best defensive shortstop in your opinion? Do you mean right now or like in the last like couple decades? I think I would go with like Andrelton Simmons. But certainly Brandon Crawford's up there. I mean, the guy is a wizard if you watch him do his trick plays. Canes would love to have. Why is that? Why can't I read that? Let me pull that one up. What's up, Southwest Miami Sports Hall of Fame? Hey, my dad is in the Northeast High School Hall of Fame, by the way. Southwest Miami High School Sports Hall of Fame. Thanks for joining the chat. Canes would. And I'm going to have my dad on soon. Unfortunately, most of these organizations prioritize offense over defense. Yeah, and you know why that is? It's because the defensive side of the game is not nearly, it's nowhere near as easy to quantify. So you can't, again, and this is where you need baseball guys around because they can tell you, like, Brandon Crawford, he's not going to hit like 30 plus home runs, but he's going to hit for a high enough average, and he's going to take away so many hits, and all the plays are going to get made, and you're going to turn so many double plays. Like Brandon Crawford, like his career numbers are 713 OPS, 318 on base percentage, 395 slugging, 249 batting average. He would not play in today's game. I don't know if he would. Jose Iglesias was a wizard. Yeah, I mean, Andrelton Simmons, wizard. Omar Vizquel, Barry Larkin, Ray Ordonez. I mean, there's so many of them. And you just don't see it anymore. And the other reason is this, the reason they don't think they need as good a defenses is because now with the three true outcomes in both leagues, right? You don't have the NL with the pitcher hitting, so you don't need like a really solid bench of guys that can put the ball in play and have good at bats. Now you have so many players and you have so many hitters that are like three true outcome hitters that, well, he's either going to walk, he's going to strike out, or he's going to hit a home run or a double. So we don't need good defenders out there, right? And they'll tell you, oh, we're putting good defenders out there, but they're not. I mean, you can just watch a major league game. People don't know how to base run. People don't know how to, like, they're missing fly balls and line drives hit right at them. It's incredible. It's unbelievable to watch. So here's a tweet from Adam Wainwright that I got a video coming out later on. And I retweeted it last night, and I just thought this was perfect. And it explains the game in a nutshell just in one tweet. You put me on a TrackMan screen at a golf course, and I will have some of the craziest metrics you'll ever see. Tour level stuff. But I am not a great golfer. The key is getting the ball in the hole. That's what matters. Scrambling and finding a way. This exactly compares to how he kind of messes up his tweet here, but this is exactly how it compares to baseball I see now. At showcases or metrically, they measure off the charts. Sometimes that correlates. But the question is, can you play the game? Can you actually hit or pitch, or are you just chasing numbers? The numbers are fine and useful, but you still have to play the game. You still have to be a gamer. There is a difference, believe me. Now, this is a great tweet. And I know you guys will agree 100%, but and you guys have heard me say this a bunch. And again, now Adam Wainwright's saying it, right? Like I've told you, all we hear, all these like veteran to like recently retired players that were great players are all saying the same thing. Like, the game is just moving towards, we don't care actually how good you are at playing the game. We just care about what your metrics are. And so across amateur baseball, you have guys that, man, you look at their physical talent and their tools, you're like, man, they're going to be really good. And then you watch them playing a game and you're like they're okay. You know, they're okay. But can they make an adjustment with 2 strikes? Do they know how to like shorten the swing up and let the ball travel and fight pitches off and not like what I see with amateur hitters the most is they don't know how to manipulate their path and their barrel. Like everything has to be an A swing. So with 2 strikes, like they don't know how to slow down their path or slow down their bat or manipulate the path to just fight off a pitch. And so obviously they swing and miss. Yeah, I tell the story all the time, White House, but I remember, you guys probably know Tommy LaStella, played in the big leagues for a while. When he was coming up with the Braves, I was in Double-A, and Tommy had been in Double-A the first half, and then he was in Triple-A. And he had hit like 340 in Double-A in the Southern League in Mississippi, which is ridiculous. Worst place to hit in professional baseball, and he hit 340 in the worst league to hit. And he goes to Triple-A, and he's doing the same thing. And that was like 3rd or 4th year into Dan Ugla, and he was really starting to struggle. And I asked my dad, I said, like, is Tommy, when are you calling up Tommy to play over Ugla? And my dad said straight, like right away, if I thought he could turn every double play, he would have been up here a month ago. And so my dad's whole point was, and he said this after, he's like, with our pitching staff, we have one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. We need all the outs and all the double plays have to be made. Like it doesn't matter if we have a little bit better bat in the lineup if not every double play is made, not every out is made. So he was like, I'm going to wait until I'm 100% sure that Tommy LaStella is ready defensively to play second base. Now that would never happen in today's game. Never. That would never happen. And again, that's how, like you said, White House, that's how much of a priority defense was in Major League Baseball just 10 years ago, like 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Dude, analytics are destroying all sports. The Jaguars GM looks like he's in college and is playing Madden in real life. Dude, he's 34 years old. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I can't. When I saw he was hired as the Jaguars GM, I was just like, "This is again. It's getting it's everywhere." Like we just take a guy who like can look at a spreadsheet like anyone else can. This is the thing about analytics I also don't get. It's like anybody can learn the analytics. Anybody. Like anybody can. Why do we have to have a guy who only knows the analytics? Why can't you take a baseball guy and say, hey, like we want you to be as knowledgeable about the stuff as possible so that you can use all of this in your decision making? What we've done is we've said, well, let's just get the guy from like Yale or something who's like 30 years old and put him in charge of everything because he knows analytics. It's like analytics is not that hard to understand, guys. It's not. I wish your dad was the GM of the Orioles. Well, my dad was the GM of the Orioles in the late 90s and early 2000s before he was fired by Peter Angelos. They did a whole Sports Illustrated story on that. I mean, my dad was basically like, you know, if you're not going to let me do my job, just fire me. And they got in an argument, and he fired him. So we didn't live in Maryland too long. It's like a 2-year stint, and then we moved down to Atlanta and been here ever since. He became the assistant GM of the Braves, and then in 2007 or 8, he became the GM. or I guess 2008 was his first year, like first season as GM, but he was hired in the fall of 2007 or winter of 2007. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's, it's like, I mean, it's perfectly said, Zach. Like, analytics is, again, like it's what Adam Wainwright says. Like, analytics is important. It's useful. Like, it's great to be able to quantify things that weren't quantifiable 20 years ago, right? Or 15 years ago. But that can't be the only decision. And also, there's a huge aspects of the game that are just not quantifiable. He can come back. We need help. Kyle Wren is hitting coach as well. Oh, okay. I'll let him know. I'll let him know what you said. I really fear the Pirates are going to waste Paul Skeens. Yeah. I think a lot of people are scared of that. And it's like, the point of a professional sports team is to win, and you got a great window with the Pirates to try to build a team around a guy who's, if not already, he will be the best pitcher in baseball, probably. And so you have a guy who every time he goes out there, you have a very good chance of winning if you surround him with the right team. And unfortunately, like, the Pirates just don't seem to want to do that. Don't worry, Skeens will be a Met in a few years, so you'll be able to see him regularly. Dodgers or Mets, yeah, for sure. They 100% will, including the rest of their farm prospects. Yeah, they will. They will, man. I mean, it's just like, again, that's the other issue, and especially in baseball, is that these teams are going up so much in valuation that the owners are like, well, the owners are making so much money on the teams that they're like, why would we just spend money to, I mean, we're still making a lot of money, because the issue is these teams make so much from the TV deals. It used to be a lot of your revenue came from fans coming to the game and concessions and all that stuff. And there still is a decent amount of that. But like, these teams make so much money on the TV deals and a bunch of other stuff that, like, they're not motivated they don't need to put a winning team on the field, really. Like, they're not motivated by, like, well, we need more fans at the stadium. They're just not. Connor Griffin and Bubba Chandler will be gone after Skeens. Probably. Probably. Look at what the White Sox are doing. They have no interest in putting a winning team on the field. Yeah, like it's happening all over. It's like, the A's aren't doing a lot. The White Sox, the Pirates. I mean, we could go on a list of teams where you're like, they're not really trying. And again, like, maybe you introduce like a minimum, you like, not a salary cap, but a salary floor, right? You got to spend a certain amount of money on players. And I don't think the players union would be against that. The players union will definitely be against the salary cap because they want players to make as much money as possible. But, like, for like the integrity of the sport, can we put a salary floor on teams? White Sox are 6-19. They may be worse than last year, on pace for about 33 to 35 wins. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. The fact that there's a major league team that would finish that low in wins is just, it's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. And I mean, again, this is like, look at the Red Sox in 2018. So my dad was their executive VP, baseball operations. Dave Dombrowski's the president of baseball operations. So he's, my dad's like his number two guy. That's my dad's best friend in baseball. They win a World Series in 2018, and in 2019, team doesn't play well, which happens. That just happens in the game. Dave gets fired, my dad gets fired, and it was really kind of like they got their World Series. They wanted to move on to like a young analytics GM, so they hire Heim Bloom. And for the next 3 years, 4 years, I mean, more than that, the Red Sox are terrible. They're terrible. And it's like, why did you fire Dombrowski? And then he goes to Philadelphia, and now Philadelphia is like a competitor every year. This is the thing that all these old school GMs like Dombrowski, like my dad, what they will tell you is that they're like they see these analytics GMs get like 5 or 6 year deals, and they're basically allowed to rebuild for like 4 years. And my dad's like, that's the easiest thing in the world. Like, what do you mean? You mean I have no pressure to win? I can just draft and develop players, and in 4 years I have to win? That's not hard. He's like we keep acting like, oh, like this rebuild is going to be amazing. My dad's like, rebuilding is the easiest thing in the game. It's like building a consistent contender for the playoffs every year. That's hard. Yeah, the draft lottery hasn't done anything. You're right. Yeah, it hasn't. It really hasn't. At least you haven't. Not yet. They need a floor. The MLB is a joke with the same teams being bad every year. Every once in a while, we want a shocker team in the postseason. Yeah, I mean, it's getting to the point in MLB where you can just which teams are going to make the playoffs. It's like the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets. Like what teams are going to make the playoffs. It's just it's not like I remember when the NL East, when my dad was GM, it was like the best division in baseball. You had the Phillies were good. The Pirates were decent. Even the Marlins were like okay. I mean, they had like Jose Fernandez, and they had some good players, and it was just a competition like for the whole season. You're going back and forth with winning the division or a couple games back, and now it's just like every division you're kind of like, okay, that team's not good, that team's not good, that team's not good. All right, so let's talk about some of the these series coming up today and ones that are continuing. So obviously we have NC State dominated Clemson last night. We could see Clemson's first loss in ACC play this year. Oklahoma and Georgia just started. They're in top of the first. We actually could watch that for a little bit. I'll pull that up here in a second. Yeah, let me pull that up actually. Coastal Carolina, James Madison starting. North Carolina and Pittsburgh. Florida State, Louisville. That's a big series, especially for Louisville, right? If Louisville wants to get into hosting contention, they probably need to win that series. Um, Southern Miss, App State. App State doing really well in conference. Virginia and Georgia Tech again. Virginia Tech has to run the table the rest of the way after the Florida State series got canceled. Georgia Tech needs to win this one to just get back feeling good about themselves. So it's a big series for both teams. Arkansas, Florida. Again, if Florida wants to make it into the tournament, they're projected to make it in right now, but they got to start. They got to win a series probably tonight. Tennessee, LSU prediction. I think Tennessee wins. I just think Tennessee's the better team. I think it'll be close, but I think Tennessee wins. Mississippi State, Auburn. Mississippi State has to win this again for them to get in the tournament. They need to win this series. Auburn's 9-9 in conference. Still a projected host, even though they're 9-9. So I mean, Auburn's running the tightrope right now as far as like could be a host, could just be a 2 seed. Vandy, Ole Miss, same thing. If Vandy, a lot of really good series, right? Arizona, Texas Tech. Arizona wants to be a host. They need to keep winning. And then tonight, 8 p.m., we got Texas A&M and Texas, baby. The biggest series of the week. In Baton Rouge, let's see. It's in Baton Rouge. In Baton Rouge. Irvine and Cal Poly, that's a big battle of the mid-majors for potential host of a mid-major, right? Irvine and Cal Poly both are dominating. They're both top of the Big West. Poly's 15-3. Irvine's 16-2. Penn State, UCLA. Penn State could ruin UCLA's hosting chances. Not ruin them, but make it harder for them if they win this series. And I mean, Georgia's really got to start again. They're free falling right now, same as Georgia Tech. Both of the best teams in Georgia are in a really bad stretch right now. Must-win series for both Georgia Tech and UVA. Georgia Tech for hosting purposes and UVA for RPI. Yeah, it's like if Georgia Tech loses the series to Virginia, they probably need to sweep one of their remaining series. I think if they just go 2 out of 3 remaining, it's going to be really tight for a host. Texas Tech is 13-23 and 8-10 in the conference. They can't make the regional, right? Yeah, I don't think they can make a regional unless they win the conference tournament. That's the only way. Unless they just go on an absolute tear in conference. The rest of the way, right? They got 12 games left. Let's say they just win every game and they go 20-10 in conference, then they're in, you know, like. But then they still only finish at like 25-23, so it's just I don't envision that happening. But they've been much better in conference than out of conference, which is also insane. Right? They were 5-13 before conference play, which is insane for Texas Tech. First base runner of the game for Oklahoma, one out in the top of the first. I mean, it's crazy. Just look at the SEC records. Like Georgia, 9 of its 11 losses are in conference. Oklahoma, 11 or 8 of its 11 losses are in conference. I'm expecting fireworks from Texas, Texas A&M, ejections, shit talking, etc. Yeah, 100%, dude. Oh my gosh, in this era, like I guarantee one of the A&M players, if they hit a big shot near the end of the game to like put Texas A&M ahead or just solidify the lead, they're gonna do something that's slosh. I mean, it's just like it's undeniable that's gonna happen. I mean, I hope it doesn't, but it'd be hard for me to believe that won't happen. Wonder what that home plate meeting will be like at Texas. Oh, I think it'll be fine. The home plate meeting will be fine. I just think like the fans are going to be crazy, and obviously the players, especially the A&M players, are going to be chirpy. Yeah, how did you react to opposing fans talking trash, Kyle? I loved it. I loved it. It made me lock in. I mean, I didn't take it seriously. You know, I always thought it was funny. I would laugh because as soon as fans see that like it doesn't bother you, a lot of times it stops. The guys who get just trash talked all the time are guys that the fans can tell like he doesn't like this. It's actually affecting him. The guys that they recognize, oh, he doesn't look like this is affecting him at all. Like they eventually stop. Like I remember at Clemson my freshman year, I was playing center field, and the whole left center stand or stadium seating up there were all chanting my girlfriend at the time's name. Like I'm talking like 200 people. They were all chanting her name. And I was just like, yep, this is what I wanted, man. This is why I wanted to play at a big time school. Coach Slosh will need police escort out of that stadium. Well, the good thing for Slosh is it's in Austin. If it was in College Station, oof, that would be yeah, he would need like 24-hour security. I couldn't imagine being an opposing pitcher at Clemson in the bullpen. Well, Dusty, so guys, also, by the way, for the Georgia Tech Virginia game tonight, Dusty, our friend who's in the chat every day, he's calling the game. So Dusty's calling the game. He's going to try to get some inside info for us as well. Talked to him this morning. Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, that's not. I mean, I remember, like, so when I was drafted, and even in Pro Ball, they talk trash to you. Like, it's like in the minor leagues. I remember a guy walked up to the plate, and I'm hitting like 330 in low A. And this guy's like, hey, Kyle, don't worry. My dad got me my job too. And, you know, I was like, it doesn't bother me. You know, I just laugh and let it roll off my shoulder and just roll with it. You know, that stuff never bothered me. It honestly made me more locked in. It made me play better. Like I always wanted to be up with the game on the line and fans cheering and loud and roaring. And like that's why I played the game, to be the person in that situation to come through. So that's why Dusty's in here. He's in the lab preparing. Yeah, yeah. He's he's probably heading. No, I don't know what. See what time first pitch is. First pitch for Georgia Tech is 6 p.m. So he'll probably head over there. He'll probably get over there around 3. Whenever I did the broadcasts, I would always get there for BP just to talk with coaches and stuff like that. Um, so he'll probably be over there around 3 o'clock. But yeah, so tune in to the Georgia Tech game tonight because you'll hear Dusty giving his insights all night. And then we have a doubleheader tonight for the first round of the playoffs. First game's at 4. Second one will start like 30 minutes probably after the first one. It is a team that we run ruled earlier in the year, so hopefully could be 2 quick games and I get back in time to. I'll definitely probably do a stream tonight watching some baseball because we got some good games starting late. I think the A&M Texas game starts at 8, so that's perfect, baby, perfect. Maybe I'll be able to start the stream when they're in like the 4th inning. Did you win in poker last night? Oh man, so I was third guy left, and I basically ended up having the best hand. We both went all in. Me and another guy who was still in. I went all in, and he called, and he hit a 3 of a kind on the river. So like I got it in good. Because I play poker. I mean, when I was in the minor leagues and when I'm around somewhere with the casino, I go play No Limit Hold'em because I'm actually a really good poker player. Because I've done the studying. I know the math. I know the opening hands and everything. And I just know how to play the game. So I got it in good. Like poker is a skill game, but there is luck involved. It's a skill game with luck involved. And unfortunately, he hit a let's see, on the river, he hit like a 5% chance on the river to beat me, and he hit it. He had 2 cards that could beat me, still in the deck. Theoretically, looks like a solo shot for Georgia to take the lead. We've arrived at Boston College. Aren't you going to Fenway, or is only one games in Fenway? Yeah, so White House, long story short, I lost my $40 buy-in. WTF, how long have you been live? Like an hour. Dude, I told you FaceTimed me on your ride home, and I told you I'm going to be starting the stream early today because we have you said, what time's the stream today? I said like 12. What? You forgot that part of our conversation? Everyone tune in tonight to listen to Dusty be the color guy, the analyst for the Georgia Tech Virginia game. Big ACC series with big postseason ramifications. They got Dusty Isaacs on the call. Kyle Wren was not available. They got the second best guy, Dusty Isaacs, on the call. Oh my. That was crushed by Zaborowski. Dusty's never on time. And you know what? Yeah, he always acts like he doesn't know what time I go live. I go live at like from 1 o'clock to 1:15 every day. And then today he literally called me and I told him we were starting it earlier today, and he acts like he didn't know. Oregon State is a minus 180 favorite today. It makes no sense. Against Oregon, right? Guthrie's? Is there a Guthrie's over by you, Dust? Or were you just? I guess it's probably just as close to you as it is to me. The same Guthrie's, I think. It's the one that's on the corner of Johnson Ferry and I can't remember the other road's name. It is good though. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be like kind of a knockoff Zaxby's or something, but it was actually pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I think again, Zach. I mean, Cap. I think that's like the sports books just not really knowing much about college baseball. I don't know. That seems like a crazy line for Oregon State because Oregon's actually dominated a conference. Oregon State hadn't played anybody. Phelps is the number 26 prospect in the MLB draft this year. Oregon plus 140 dog. Yeah, that's crazy. So what? Minus 180 means what? You bet 100 on Oregon State, you win $20. So you get 120 back. Is that it? No gossip today. We haven't done any gossip today. I just want to see what Trey Phelps is doing. Like this is why Kylie McDaniel ranks Trey Phelps as the number 26 first round, number 26 prospect in the draft. Trey Phelps, guys, is hitting 273 with 8 doubles and 6 home runs and has 16 walks and 29 strikeouts and 2 stolen bases. Like he had a really good freshman year, but he's hitting 80 points lower this year than his freshman year. He's got 6 less home runs, and he's gonna be a first round pick. What? Insane, but not surprising that. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I'm not saying he's. I'm not saying he's any. I think he is a good player, but he's going to be a first round pick. Yeah, first round pick seems a little bit insane to me. Hitting 273 with 6 home runs, that seems insane. That's not first round. You know, if you're buying, if you think you're buying low because he's having a down year, like second or third round, maybe third round, probably more so. But first round, I mean, that's just, I think, ridiculous. I don't care that what he did his freshman year. I'm just saying he's hitting demonstrably worse in his sophomore year. And we all know, Dusty, I mean, 353 is impressive, right? But 12 home runs in this era of college baseball is like nothing. That's not special. That's average at best. You know how many dudes will have 12 home runs this year? It'll be like they won't even be in the top 100. They'll be like in the top. They may not even be in the top 200 with 12 home runs. You don't care what he did his freshman year? Well, that's stupid. No, I do care what he did his freshman year. I'm just saying it's Like if he was somewhere around similar to what he did his freshman year, you would be like, okay, that makes sense. If he's hitting like 325 with like 9 home runs or 8 home runs, you're like, okay. But he's not anywhere close to his freshman year numbers. Like it's not even close. All right now, if you have 12 home runs right now in the season with like half of conference play to go and conference tournaments before the postseason starts, you are tied. You are not even in the top 75 in the country right now with 12 home runs. Well, that's how he got on the list, dude. What else do they have to go off of? This year? What do you mean? Like, if preseason, if he's rated as the 26th best prospect for the draft, okay. But halfway through the season, if that hasn't changed, that doesn't make sense. I don't know how you could draft him in the first round right now. Unless you're going way under slot and you think you're buying low. That's the only way. I think I might go to Arkansas, Texas next week. That would be a great series. Dusty, what time are you heading off to Georgia Tech? I really feel like Arizona State or Oregon is going to make a run. Arizona State pitching staff is really good. I don't disagree, man. I think Arizona State's good. Like that's a team you don't want in your regional, 100%. Canes, are you boots on the ground in Boston? He is. They don't update this weekly, you idiot. I can't take this anymore. They update it at the halfway point. What do you mean? They have updated lists like as we get closer to the draft, they update it all the time. Anyway, I gotta go, guys. I have that playoff games coming up. Wish me luck. I'll be back later tonight with the stream. Make sure you tune into the Georgia Tech game.